Howdy there, welcome to One Great Manga, where hopefully you are having a fantastic day today. Today is my March manga log, so without further ado, let's jump into it. Another month, another manga log. So this month was a little bit different than the rest because I had spring break. Spring break, I literally just relaxed the whole time and I binge read some manga. And man, oh man, was it fantastic. We have like 15 books to look at. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so the first one I want to talk about, and the big chunk of it, like, this sucker's thick. Alright, hold up. 1 second. I have volumes 12 to 19 of Initial D. My man, Initial D is so freaking good. This part of Initial D, volumes from about volume 9 to 15, or is it 16? About volume 9 to 16 of Initial D is literal perfection for what it's trying to do and what it is. It is so freaking good. It is like my number 4 favorite manga arc of all time. The relationships, the characters, and what they did was so amazing. And the series takes a huge dip in quality, in my opinion, after that. Because once you have the main characters arc, like, over, you're like, well, shoot, now what do we do? Well, we just drive. And then, you know, we just have a bunch of races. And the racers that we have seen so far have been decent. But they're not as good as the original ones that we've started with in the beginning or in the middle. Where I'm at the moment, they're talking about creating this new, like, team. Because one of them are leaving in 1 year. They're leaving in 1 year. And he wants to go out with a bang. So he made this thing called Project D and asks Takumi to join the team. And he does, and they have a little bit more different races, where instead of it's just one guy on a street race, it's usually like in a team of 3 on a street race, which is a little bit more interesting. But like I said, it does take a dip in quality because of the main character arc being over. It's kind of like in this limbo area. I don't know how long it's going to last in the limbo area, because it's been about 4 volumes in and they're still in the limbo. So I'm like, when are we going to get more like character stuff? Because, you know, while the racing is good, I would like some more character stuff, and we're not really getting that at this moment. Of course, I'm probably still going to continue reading it when I get more volumes. But yeah, I am really enjoying it, and I really enjoyed what I read. If you have not read Initial D yet, the first 16 volumes are freaking fantastic. Read them on Amazon Prime. It's such a great series, in my opinion. So now, we have the much more smaller stuff. Sure, why not? We'll have another shonen. So look at this. Torico! Bro, Torico! Oh my goodness. I freaking love Torico, and I'm so happy I purchased these volumes. Volume 16 and 17, like, they went into, like, this dungeon, and they fought, like, this cat, long-haired dragon thing. So freaking cool. And then they met this guy right here, which is, like, a demigod or something, and he's, like, super strong. And it was really cool. And when we met this dude, he's got, like, a pet snake that's, like, the size of the earth. Like, Torico's so freaking crazy with, like, how they're doing the world building. And the world building in the series is so good. So good. And the power scaling in the series is freaking off the charts. Like I said, they fight a demigod in, like, volume 16. Like, it's nuts. Where Dragon Ball is in the Frieza saga in about 30 volumes, I think. They did it in 16. I would say these guys are maybe even stronger than Super Saiyan Goku. In half the volumes, which is just nuts. Because they start out as kind of like normal people. And then they grow up stronger and stronger and stronger due to how the power scaling works. When he eats the food, they get stronger. Which is a really cool power system. I love it. I love Torico. Super, super excited about these volumes, and I cannot wait to read some more once I do delve into it after I finish Bleach, which is sometime. I don't know. Alright, next one we have is Helsing, Volume 8. This was one volume I found at a game exchange, and it was really good. Really solid book. A little bit confusing at first because it's the 8th volume, but when I read of it, oh my word. It's just like, it's the kind of like shut your brain off, kind of dumb stupid that you like. In this volume, like he fought the KKK and Nazis, and then like he like kind of went like Super Saiyan and like made them all die and then returned them back as zombies to fight some like Christians. It was freaking great. I'm not lying. If that sounds amazing to you, which it should, read Helsing. This is great. I cannot wait to get the deluxe editions when I do get them eventually. But yeah, I really royally enjoyed my time in Helsing. All right, next one we got is Mob Psycho 100 Regan one shot. This kind of disappointed me, honestly. It wasn't bad, but it's not really about Regan. It's about the psychic girl, the girl who wants to be a psychic in the original series, and like she works with Regan as like she begs to work with Regan and she just doesn't. It's just, it's fine. If it was Regan by himself, I think this series would have been a lot better. But since the girl's in there, it's kind of like more based on her. It feels like they're like, well, we can't use Mob because this is a one-shot about Regan, so we'll just throw in a character that's similar to him. And like, oh, let's do the girl. There was only one time in this book where I like actually seriously chuckled, and that was with the cool popular kid who was like, they were like, the girls were like, oh, he's kind of weird because he takes girls in the middle of the night into the woods or whatever. And like, I don't know if I would trust him or not. And he eventually asks her out, and the reason he goes into the woods is because he's into supernatural stuff too. I really like that joke. It was pretty funny. But that type of humor has already been done in Mob Psycho, and in my opinion, better. Like what they did with the what's it called? The Bodybuilders Club. What they did with that. It's the same type of joke pretty much, but I think the Bodybuilders one was funnier. But yeah, it was a good book. Not amazing though. Kind of disappointed, but I'm definitely keeping it. Mob Psycho 100 Regan. Another one shot that is, oh man, this was so freaking good. Dragon Ball that time got reincarnated as Yamcha. This book right here, my man. If you are a Dragon Ball fan and like you kind of think this is a good idea, like this is kind of weird, funky. Like I'm sort of interested. If you have like the size of a grain interested in this, you have to read this. This is hilarious. I was honestly shocked how good this was. So this guy kind of like likes this girl, and he's like, oh, I want to look up her skirt, and then like he dies. Like, it's weird. And he dies and gets reincarnated as Yamcha. And this dude's a full-blown simp. He's like, oh, well, it starts out with him being reincarnated when Bulma first meets Yamcha. And he's like, Bulma's talking to me. Oh my goodness. Oh, you know, it's really funny. Like, he's very awkward. And he's like, he's like, I know what happens in the series, which is really cool. Like, he keeps all the memories. And since he's read Dragon Ball and is a really big Dragon Ball fan, he knows how the story's going to go and what's going to happen. He's like, I can't die. I don't want to die. So he's like, I'm going to train to become super ultra powerful so I don't have to worry about that. And he does that. And the main reason he does it is because, one, he doesn't want to die, and two, because he likes Bulma. One really cool thing I did like, though, was like, instead of them going into town where they're like, oh, we're going to go into town and we're going to go shop and, you know, get closer together. He says, no, wait, I can't do this. He's like, I got to go train. So then he goes and trains with Goku and Krillin. Really freaking cool idea. There's a lot of really wacky stuff in this, and it's, so good. And another one of my favorite parts about this, which is nuts. Okay, this is really nuts. All right. I'm going to show you a panel from this. And, like, look at this. Can you see that? Look at that. This looks like Dragon Ball. This looks like Akira Toriyama drew this. Like, oh my word. This is better than Toyotaro. How he draws it. Like, oh my word. This, like, if someone showed me a panel of this and was like, yeah, this is Dragon Ball. You know, Akira Toriyama drew this. I would 100% believe you. It is so freaking amazing how well he's able to draw Dragon Ball. Like, holy cow. And that leads to a lot of my enjoyment of the series. This feels like a Dragon Ball book. This feels like a Dragon Ball book. And you could tell it's done by someone who knows his stuff about Dragon Ball. And it's such a great book. There is one big little twist at the end, which I really enjoyed with one of the other characters. I'm not going to spoil it, though, because you need to read this. This can be found easily online for like $5. If you have, like I said, a grain of interest in this book, get it. It is so freaking good. My only problem with it is it's super thin. I think it's like 120 pages, which is like nothing. I read through this in like 30 minutes. And I honestly wish there was more. But I am satisfied with what it had. But man, if it would have had more, it would have been so great. But I really enjoyed the series. This one shot. And I loved it so much. But honestly, this is going to sound crazy. This may be my favorite book from the month. Like, this honestly shocked me with the quality of the book and how good it was. Dragon Ball. That time I got reincarnated as Yamcha. Oh, no, I lied. That's not my favorite book. My favorite book is Kaguya Loves War, Volume 2. Oh, man! Dude, okay. So, I was so freaking happy I got this book. Holy cow. I missed Kaguya Loves War so freaking much. This series has me belly laughing. Has me rolling on the ground. Like, with the comedy. It is so good. You've been in this situation in a lot of these characters. Where, like, you like a person and you're, like, overthinking it. And both characters are overthinking it, so they get in, like, crazier and crazier situations. It is so good. Read it. Read it. I love this series so much. And I need to get more volumes. Eventually. I believe it's up to, like, volume 17 at the moment. So I'm missing, like, 11 volumes, which is, like, super cheap. I could pick them all up. In fact, I probably will next month or something. But man, I love this series so much, and I'm super happy I grabbed the second volume. Now I'm up to about volume 6 in the series. I cannot wait to get more. Oh man, I'm gushing. I'm sorry. I don't want to say too much because like it's a lot of stuff in the series that happens, but it's hilarious. Like I love it so much. If you haven't read Kaguya Loves War yet, this is an absolute recommendation. Read it. It is so freaking good. And with that, we have gotten through all the manga. And now we shall move on to the comics. We shall start with Blue Beetle number 20. Blue Beetle, man, I loved this issue. I like this issue a lot. Blue Beetle's a character that is really interesting, and I really enjoy it. He's a Latino character who is greatly deeply rooted in that type of culture. And that's really interesting. But another really cool thing about him is that he tells his parents that he has the superpowers. So his family is involved and knows a lot about it and wants to keep him protected. And that's a really interesting thing. This issue was just okay. Mainly because it was in the middle of like this Yellow Lantern stuff. But I really enjoyed it, and I really want to get some more issues of it eventually. Alright, next one we have has a little bit of a story to it. So, I got XMen number 1 for 99 cents. Really? I was honestly shocked how good this was. The artwork in this, I believe this was done by Jim Lee. I believe. I could be wrong, though. It says Jim. But the artwork in this is so gorgeous. Oh, my word. This is such a gorgeous book. Especially for a 90s. I'm used to, like, 90s just not really doing colors very well. But I was surprised how well it was colored in this one. And it was just a really solid book. But the funny story about it is, I went to Jackson, Tennessee with my friend, which is a really long distance away from me. And we went to this store called Comic Universe. And this old lady was behind the counter. And she was so freaking sweet. The store up there has a, like, you purchase their stuff and they'll give you 10% in-store purchases next time. And I was like, can I use it now? And I went back and grabbed this X-Men comic. But the lady up there was so freaking sweet. I actually grabbed 2. I grabbed X-Men number 1 and also grabbed another number 1 and I gave it to my friend that I went with. But, yeah, if you're up in Jackson, Tennessee and you're looking for some comic books, go to Comic Universe. The people over there are such great people, and the old lady behind the counter is super sweet. So yeah, figured I'd give them a little plug. And finally, I grabbed Mega Man number 3, and oh man, I love the Mega Man comic books so much. It is such a solid comic book. If you like Mega Man, read this. Read the comic series. It's also really cheap. I don't know what to say. This issue dealt with him having problems with like his programming. He was dealing with he was getting like weird personality stuff. Instead of being like a kind human robot, he was like getting really angry, and he was like, "Oh, bring it on," and he was like killing everybody. And he was like, "Oh, whoa, Mega Man, what's going on?" And he's like, "Oh man, got to my head or whatever." And he's like, "I feel bad. He's like, I shouldn't have done that." But yeah, really enjoyed this book. Mega Man's fantastic. So yeah. And with that is my March manga log and comic book log. But man, I had so much fun reading this, and I had so much fun just relaxing in the spring break in general, and just reading through all this, because it's been a while since I've had the time to just like binge read comic books and manga, and I had so much fun. And all these books that I've read have been so much good stuff, and it's great. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day, and go out there and read some manga, my beautiful, beautiful Chim Chams.